Good morning, everybody. Sorry for 5 minutes late. Morning, Geert. Morning, Tommy. Man, I got out of bed too late, and then I got talking with some of the other developers of other products and stuff, and things just went awry. Not enough time for everything. So sorry about 5 minutes, but I'm here. We're ready to go. I actually think...
Skymatix 047 is holding point until Bravo 10.
Oh, somebody's getting feedback. Poor Uncle John. Anyway, I actually think most of the cars are ready to go. There you see. So I'm very late. Anyway, we're doing a flight to Palma to Mallorca. So at least we can go rest on the beach when we get there. Okay. Let's get cracking. It's not necessary. Oops. GPU connect, we don't need that. We've got all of that. Let's just call everybody. Not gonna be worried about having 2 fuel trucks. We just call everybody. Why not? There we go. Alright, let's start the boarding so we don't waste time.
Ground flight deck hose is connected and starting refueling.
Guys, the leader's on board.
Captain has turned on the fasten seatbelt sign. We do ask that all passengers take your seat at this time and please fasten your seatbelt. Just as a reminder, we cannot leave the gate until carrying items are properly put away. All overhead bins are closed and all passengers are seated.
Just checking that runway and airport altitude there. That's perfectly fine. Guys, I hope you had a good week, and I hope that you're going to have good rest over the weekend now. I had an amazingly busy week. It was unbelievably busy. So right now I'm just going to enjoy some rest as well. And I love the Zibo and the ground handling. I can't say that exclusively, they have to be together. 11. Right, 11. I hope you guys all got your version 3.8 update for the Zibo. This is going to be my first time flying it. See what happens. I haven't had any negative feedback since we released it last night, so it should be fine. (1093), that's perfect, and 1133. 133, Mike Juliet Victor, that's perfect. And be on 1000. Right.
Mallorca traffic, Skymatix 356, lining up on runway 13.
It feels almost done.
Ground to flight deck, fuel is all loaded up and you are good to go.
Morning, Steve. Right, sorry guys, here in Discord, I've just unmuted myself and I'll go live here for you guys as well. Hello, yes.
Goedemorgen Nico. Good morning gentlemen.
Gaan dit goed?
Uitstekend.
Mooi.
En met jou?
Ja, hetzelfde.
Mallorca traffic, Skymatix 356, take off from runway 13.
Ready for pre-flight procedure. Trim up.
One minute.
Flight attendants prepare for departure, cross-check and all call, thank you.
Alright, we've got everyone strapped in. Give us a ring if you need anything.
Morning, Peter. Can't remember if I did this, so let's just do it. Yep, done.
Forward boarding door has been closed. Once again, we need all passengers to remain seated at this time. Please double check the security of your seatbelt. All electronic devices will need to be turned off and put away at this time. This does include all cellular phones and two-way features. Flight attendants, please prepare your doors for departure and cross-check.
Before start procedure. Why is she not listening? Oh. Oh, don't crash now.
Speech engine restart.
Yay! You're welcome to come do it here on Discord and do it with the buddies if you want.
Morning, Nico. It's Artie here. How are you?
Yes, Artie, good, and you?
Málaga Traffic Ryan
Very good,
81
mate.
and
Saturday afternoon here, about 5:45, so I'm not too sure what time of the world you're at the moment.
Oh my goodness, yeah, it's 10:15 a.m. There we go, she's listening. No, she doesn't know what I'm saying to her. Okay. Before start procedure.
Before start procedure.
Well, thanks for joining us, Artie. I hope you're going to enjoy it. You're welcome to watch the stream here or on YouTube, whichever suits you. But just be aware, if you watch it both sides, you're going to have to mute the sound on YouTube because it's going to be a bit late. Mm-hmm.
We're well aware of that one, and I often follow your channel, so really enjoy it.
Cool.
Keep up the good work.
Thank you.
Checklist.
Right, so let us yeah, see how it goes, Peter. Even George has been on and off Discord quite a while. We'll make a plan for you, don't worry. Good morning, Neil. Right, let's just hide these other guys because they are now working on my nerves. Right, we should now be free of all ground equipment. Right, start number 2 engine.
Starting number 2 engine. N2. Starter cutout.
Start number 1 engine.
Starting number 1 engine.
Sorry guys, I'm speaking here under my breath about something else, not related to the stream.
25 N2. Starter cutout. Engine start procedure complete.
Thank you, Linda. Before taxi procedure.
Before taxi
Málaga
procedure.
Traffic Ryan 1 and 73, taxi to hold point runway 13.
Before taxi procedure complete. I am ready for before taxi checklist.
So Nico, you gotta love Linda helping you out as a co-pilot.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. It's so funny when I do my test flying and stuff and she's not there, how many of the things I actually forget if I don't purposefully concentrate really hard, you know, to remember to use the checklist and stuff. It's scary.
Yeah, I totally understand, because I sometimes too do the same thing, and just fly the Zibo mod by myself without any interaction from Linda. So I find that, wow, I'm glad she's there when she is there.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Did you see the Linda for the PMDG now?
No, not as yet.
Yeah, they looking for beta testers now for the guys who have the PMDG who wants to take Linda into it. So if you go to the Jar Design Facebook page, you can sign up there if you want. She looks much better, the graphics and stuff, and they've also taken her out of her coat. You know, a lot of people have commented that nobody flies with a coat. So obviously the coat is made and put into position, you know, to hide the imperfections in the model. You know, so it's like smoke and mirrors. But in the PMDG, anyway, let me see if I've got a quick photo here. I know I sent a photo to quite a few different people. Let me just see if I've still got it here. I'll show you guys.
Yeah, okay.
Display capture. There you go. All right. Unfortunately, you're gonna have to look on YouTube to see that picture. Are you actually watching Deal View or not? Otherwise, I can copy it. Wait. I can actually copy it. Yeah. I'll put it in Skymatix chat. All right. So just 2 rooms up.
Looks nice.
Yeah. All right. Here's the picture. So she's definitely a little bit more refined, you know, nicer. So
nicer looking.
Yeah, much nicer looking. I think they should actually rename her. This can't be Linda too. This has got to be Linda's sister, because Linda just doesn't look so nice.
Yeah, I have to agree with you.
Anyway, there you go. There's the sister.
Maybe we can have Mark 1 and Mark 2.
No, Tommy, no, you can't leave now. No. Zibo will miss you. Anyway, I think that's it. That's the story. We can actually go now. I've done the recalibration. I actually split my controllers between level up, the controller profile between level up and...
Malaga traffic, Skymatix 052 on gate 21, pushing back for start, Malaga.
Right, so as I was saying, I split my controller profile, so I shouldn't have that aileron hick up, but I just quickly did my recalibration there. Right. Malaga traffic, Skymatix 001. We are pushing and starting and taxiing to the holding point for runway 13, Skymatix 001, Malaga traffic. We're actually not even pushing, we're just going straight forward. Steve, I agree with you, they need to update it, but I'm not sure. I obviously, in all my testing, I've given a snag list. Eugenie went and he fixed 10 out of the 12 complaints that I gave him, and now she's completely broken. I can't use the latest version because just to give you a quick indication, it's all about the logic and the SOP, right? So one of the things that Linda currently does is, regardless of whether you have your ground power on or not, she will start your APU. So you can sit there maybe for 20 minutes or half an hour running APU, wasting fuel, you know, creating a bit of an imbalance in your in your wing tanks, you know. So one of the changes that we worked on is for her to check whether the ground power is on or not, and then she won't switch it on. But I swear I can't get it working, so I need to do a test flight with the latest one later, which will be a private thing which I can share with him. But there was like literally 12 discrepancies they fixed, or supposed to fix.
Taking off runway 13, roll as 1 hotel departure.
There are lots of nice things happening.
Cabin crew, take your seats, prepare for takeoff.
Before takeoff procedure.
Before takeoff procedure.
So, Nico, I have to say though, Linda does an awesome job in helping you get the aircraft airborne.
Absolutely.
Even though the program what it is, it's brilliant.
No, it was a game changer. It was before its time, you know. I mean, I know in 2020 there is a, I think it's,
taxi procedure.
you get the FS2 crew that doesn't have a model, and then somebody did actually release or are planning on releasing something similar. Okay, I did notice, and I said to you, Jaden, you guys better move on, because you're going to lose some market share there. You know, everybody's going to jump on this fancy new thing, because FS has never had it, never. It's just always been in X-Plane, and so I'm glad to see the guys are making progress there, man.
Yeah, and it's always good to see progress happening along the line anyway.
Yeah. Yep. Hi, man. I hate it when I go off screen, it loses the mouse completely, then it jumps back. Right, so let me just check WebEye quickly, see what's happening in the area. Swing back, there's more traffic here, okay.
And Málaga traffic, Skymatix 052, taxiing to runway 13 via the Bravo Alpha to the Alpha 3 hold point, Málaga.
Málaga traffic, Skymatix 001, line up and take off runway 13.
How goes it?
Hey, Mr. Romania, all good in you?
Oh, living the dream.
Absolutely wonderful to hear that.
It's always good to live the dream.
Yeah.
Say again?
Approaching 13.
He said it's always good to live the dream.
Yes.
On runway 13.
I see a
RAS system.
Oh, it's nice to have that RAS working. Yes, go for it, Artie.
I love the graphics I'm seeing presently on my screen. It looks awesome.
Yeah.
I quite like it. It's quite nice, really.
Yeah. If you go outside a little bit, I got the sim, even Europe and stuff working. I tell you what, that all of a sudden is a game changer. The previous version I really struggled with in the beginning with X-Plane 12. It just wasn't nice. Okay, but he seemed to have, you know, gone through the growing pains and fixed what he needed to fix. So I'm really happy with it right now.
Yeah, it did. I have to agree with that.
Stabilized.
Toga, baby.
There we go.
Let's get it.
Toga.
Thrust set.
Go.
Takeoff thrust set.
Trust you. Meet one.
Morning, Mark.
Yes. Positive rate, gear up.
Positive rate.
And get up, yep.
Maintain V2 plus 10.
There we go.
Up and away.
Beautiful.
Yeah, here in the States, especially in the GA realm, we don't say positive rate. We usually go no more usable runway. Gear up.
Okay. Now I wanted to hide my widget and then I pressed the wrong button. Disconnected autopilot, but fortunately I saw it, so it's back on.
Nico, just going back to a previous comment,
Yeah.
in the USA, this guy was saying that when you see no more runway, just gear up. Is that normal procedure?
Well, he's
That
flying.
is correct. Like it depends. So in the GA realm, when you're flying complex aircraft, you never retract the gear if there's possibility to land the aircraft on the, especially if you're flying single engine on the runway in front of you, because you might have a chance to re-land the aircraft, provided you have usable runway. So you never retract the gear until the option is taken away from you.
Yeah, sorry, Nico, about this, but just getting back to the fellow that was just chatting, totally agree with it because I'm doing my pilot training at the present moment, so sort of understand what he's saying.
Yeah.
Yep. So currently working on my commercial right now, so it's a lot of fun.
Good.
Yeah, look, I think the whole program about training is a lot of fun, and it makes you certainly appreciate what the real world pilots go through as we sit back here and just fly an aircraft through the sim. Yeah, much appreciated.
Yep.
Yeah.
Where are you getting your private pilot's license? What country?
Look, I'm in Australia at the moment. I'm in Adelaide, South Australia.
Approaching transition.
May the gods bless you on it, because you have an easier journey than I will.
Nico, again, apologies for this, but I think looking at in the USA with their flying procedures and whatever, I find it far more difficult trying to get my head around to what's actually the go and no go to what is compared to Australia. But in a nutshell, I think everything still flies around. You're flying an aircraft and this is what's required.
Right. Well, at least you guys don't have to worry about the 1,500-hour rule.
Yeah.
Oh, true.
Yeah. Listen.
I'm sorry about Nico. Back to you.
Yeah. No worries. Look, Artie, if you followed me long enough, you said you did. You'll know that we don't always just stick. It's not a training flight. We don't stick to one topic. And I said, you don't have to apologize. We just enjoy it as long as it doesn't go off aviation topic. You know what I'm saying? And I don't mind.
Yeah, man. Yeah. I'm with you.
Alright, so let me just answer the guys on YouTube as well. I need to look after them too. So Mark, yes, X-Plane 12 needs more resources. You're going to need a stronger PC, better graphics for X-Plane 12 to really enjoy it the same way that you did with X-Plane 11. Doesn't mean that you cannot fly X-Plane 12. If you're worried, go download the demo, play around with the demo, see what the performance is like, then you'll know. Alright, and Tommy, you can use either one of them, but I would prefer to use the one without crew. Okay, so you're going to have to set up your ACARS to look at SkymatixVA.com instead of crew dot. You have to remove the crew dot, and when you log in, use SkymatixVA.com. Alright, we want to get rid of the crew website. We want to kill it. So the sooner you move over to the SkymatixVA.com without crew, the better. Then you won't wake up one day and say, oh, the website's gone.
How far to your private pilot's license are you, my friend?
Artie?
Yeah, sorry about that, Nick. I was just concentrating on something else.
Yeah. So Romania is asking How far are you with your license?
Look, still in the early stages. I'm still trying to get around all the material that one needs to read and trying to grasp and understand as to what is required. So yeah, still in the very early stages of everything.
Right, so what's your total flight time, and have you soloed yet?
Yeah, no, far from it. Not yet, no.
Yeah, it sounds like
Just
he
remember,
started.
it's never a race, right? You don't compete with anybody. Everybody goes at their own pace. We have one student from Brazil right now in the institution that has not soloed, and she has 40 hours. So just remember, everybody goes at their own pace, and it's never a race.
Yeah, and I have to agree with that one. I do take it. So if each bit of material that I read, and I go back, did I really understand what I just read, or do I have to go through it again and make sure I know what the nuts and bolts about what I just read and I got it in my head? And at the moment, I do struggle with that a little bit, but eventually I go, right, the penny drops, so I get it, yeah.
The good news is you're actually taking the time to really study the ground portion now. I will tell you, 60% of flying an airplane, believe it or not, happens on the ground. If you can get the ground lesson material down in your head, it's a lot easier to apply it when you're in the air versus the guys that try to skip the ground lessons and the ground lesson and the learning on the ground. They get in the air and then they have no idea what they're doing, and then they're just wasting time up in the air. So make sure you stick with the ground and then apply it in the air. It will make you a far more successful pilot. I will promise you that.
And exactly sort of where I'm going down on that road, and I sort of reflect that back onto my trade, where you've got to do your grounding first before you can actually get up and do what you want to do. So I'm actually a carpenter in the building industry, so you've got to learn the ground rules first and how everything comes together before you actually get up there and put it all together, and I sort of reflect that back on the flying.
Very good. Yeah, it's a good way to look at it. And above all, don't give up. And it's going to there's going to be days that are going to absolutely irritate the hell out of you. And it's just all I gotta say is trust the process.
Oh yeah, 100%, 100%.
Yeah. So in about 4 months here, I should be done with my commercial, and I'm trying to accelerate even quicker. I'm going to be doing I'm going to add multi-engine, so I'm trying to finish my commercial and multi-engine within the next 4 months. I am certainly a glutton for punishment.
Yeah, it certainly sounds like it from where I'm sitting on the fence.
But if you do it and get it over with, it was just going to be so much better. Just put your head down, just go for it.
Exactly. And then I think I'm going to do flight instructor and then instrument on that, and then I'm definitely going to do MEI. I'm going to do all of the ratings, and then to be a gold seal instructor, I'm going to do the instrument ground instructor as well. So yeah. I want to be able to do everything. So I mean, it comes to the point where if you guys ever come over here and to the States and I need training or something, and you're up on the West Coast, just give me a call.
Yeah, that'll be super.
And I totally agree with everything you're saying, and I think they go for guys like yourself who actually put the effort into putting programs together like this. Gives us guys like us an opportunity to have a broader look at actually what's going on, and hopefully pick up a few more tips as to don't do this but do that, and even though it doesn't apply to the real world, but you sort of get a little bit of a heads up more than you normally would. So
of course,
totally appreciate what you're doing.
Yeah. Well, I will tell you right now, as technology has advanced within the last, I would say, 5 to 10 years on the flight desk simulator, where it really is going to shine is your instrument rating, right?
Yeah.
Private pilot, not so much, just because trying to translate the hand motor skills, it's not really there. But what I will say will translate, and it forces you to be very on the game, is your instrument flying, because it forces you to ignore your senses, especially. You should get to the point, and this is something where you should become comfortable with taking off, setting the weather down to minimums for an ILS somewhere at an airport. Fly in the clouds for an hour where you do not see anything except the airplane instruments for the next hour, and then come back to the same airport, load the approach, and land it at minimums. If you can do that, before you start instrument training, you're going to beat out 80% of the market.
You will.
I promise.
Yeah, you will. You will, for sure. The
Yeah,
no
knowledge,
I agree with that.
I'm talking, you need to do this in the 172, no automation on the 6-pack gauge. If you can do that on a 6-pack instrument gauge with no autopilot, you're in great shape.
Yep. The
That's
knowledge,
something to aim for.
yeah, the knowledge you get from the flight simulator is not really measurable. The only guys that don't like it are the guys that don't know anything about flight simulation. I've seen it in real world aviation here in South Africa. Some of the old pilots, the moment you start talking about flight simulation, they start laughing at you. They don't even want to talk to you. They just ignore you. They think you're an idiot.
I mean, it was pretty funny because, good story of mine, you know, I remember I was flying, it was my first flight on instrument training. And we were coming back to my local airport after doing just, you know, level headings, turns, climbs, descents under the hood, right? He goes, hey, do you want to try an instrument approach? I said, yeah. And I flew the approach back into our airport under ACS standard, meaning Airman Certification Standard. And I flew it to check ride standards, my first attempt. And my instructor, we landed, and my instructor was like, how the hell did you learn that? I was like, flight simulators. He goes, well, they've come a long way. I said, yeah.
Absolutely.
So imagine being hour 2
Yeah, 100%.
of 60 of instrument training and shooting the approach.
Yeah, no, it's. I've shown the guys. I showed the guys over and over and over again. And one day I was giving a presentation at one of the airports. And believe it or not, this was with the PMDG one day. And I didn't know that. There was some SAA or some local airline at least. It's not mentioned SAA, it was some local airline. 737 pilots then. Also asked me how long I've been flying the 737. Well, in the sim, you know, X thousand hours, you know, and he laughs. He said, so not real. He said I could have fooled him. I could have actually fooled him with what I presented there that day. And the guys don't realize the value until they see it. And I've had guys, I've got real pilots in my family as well, or extended family, and I've seen the guys come and sit here, friends and family. You can't get them away from my simulator eventually, and then they start lying to their wives where they are and what they're doing, because they just want more and more and more, you know. And once you introduce them to it,
think about it. You get a lot of the joy without having to spend money on the gas.
Exactly.
You know, you have to think about it, right? For you to spend an hour in an actual full motion level D simulator, let's not even compare to sitting in the real plane, right? A level D simulator that moves on hydraulic jacks.
Yeah.
Okay, you're expecting to pay about $1,500 per hour. Okay,
at least.
USD. At least, and that's a bargain. Okay, expect more like 18 to 2,000. Okay. Whereas, you know, if I were to put the amount of time I've spent in the Zibo over the years of its development, I mean, if we were allowed to log it, I'd be a captain by now, a very senior captain in the 7.3. I'd be type rated in that airplane. You know, it's incredible the amount of realism that they've brought into it. You know, we're getting to a point where I think the FAA and EASA and all these corporations are going to find out, and this is very true, that the home desktop simulator is no longer a joke anymore. It's a very viable option. If you look at the commercial copy of X-Plane,
yeah,
it's $700 versus, you know, $60 desktop simulator. You know what the big difference is? Absolutely nothing. The only difference that you pay for the $700 is for commercial use. You get the right to use it for a commercial use purpose. So you're paying the company $700 to be able to use it at a commercial application. It's the same thing with jet blades. The only difference between you guys' $10 a month subscription versus if you had to pay for a worldwide subscription of Jeppesen in real life is $2,000 a year versus $10 a month, which equates to $120 a year. Yeah. And that is literally just lawyer text at the bottom. It says this cannot be used for real world use. Yeah. You know how many times I've pulled up my real world plates on my actual EFB and compared it to the ones that you guys get in Navigraph? It is exactly identical. The chart is identical, word for word.
No difference at all.
Just want to say a quick hello before I leave. Yeah.
Okay,
Hola.
Uncle John. Morning.
Morning.
Morning,
So-
Uncle John.
Scotsman, I
Morning,
feel the
all.
same. I live in this cockpit my whole life. I mean, I live two lives, really. And one is in the cockpit here in the sim, and the other one's real world. And I hate it
It's a
when the
flying
real world
Scotsman.
interferes.
Yeah.
I hate it when the real world interferes with the virtual world, man.
Yeah, it does, doesn't it? Big time.
Yeah.
Anyways, like I was saying, you know, it's we're getting to a point, and it's hilarious because the simulator at school that we have at our training facility for the 172 for me to do my instrument approaches at the school, the graphics are, I would say, 20% as good as the graphics I get in X-Plane. The only reason we can do it is because it's got the the seat, the full controls, rudder pedals, throttle, all the instruments that are actually set as gauges. But if nowadays you can contact Reality XP, not Reality XP, but Real Sim Gear, and get a FA certified flight simulator G1000 Cessna 172 182 set up for 10 grand.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah, it all depends how much money you want to throw at it.
Well, and that's the thing about aviation. It's all about time and money. It's really what it boils down to.
And this is where it brings back to time and money, and this is where you save money in doing exactly what Nico's doing here, showing us this is what you need to do, this is how this aircraft works, and this is how you learn about flying the 737s. But at the moment, I started off flying the 737s on sim, but I actually have gone back to the Skyhawk, the 172, and I tell you what, it's a whole different aircraft and a whole different approach.
I will tell you right now, there are pilots that go for their flight review that have been in, and gotten out, that tremble to fly a 172 because that airplane will humble even the most senior airline pilots, just because there's no automation, right? You get complacent. So every now and then, I always encourage you to step out of the airliner, right, and get back into that 172 and get back into flying the approach, briefing it, and doing it all by hand, right? When you hit a hold, right, get it ready.
Yeah, and I have to agree with you with the 172. You totally agree.
Right, you got to follow those 5 T's, right, when you're doing a hold, right? Time, twist, turn, throttle, talk, right? That's a huge part of IFR flying, right? Knowing
mate, you're on the money.
Exactly. So it's
anyway, Nico, if your other guys are out there that want to have a say, let them go for it.
Oh, hey, wait, if you get a chance, if you want to have some fun in the Zibo, try to do a circling approach. It's a lot of fun.
Yeah. Okay.
I guarantee you, if you do that on IVA or VATSIM, they're not going to be happy, but it's a lot of fun.
Yeah, look, we've done lots of those ones here. Showed the guys many times. Sasso has done quite a few. Flight Sim has done some. Lots of guys have done it in the Zibo. Me and Sasso did one somewhere as well one day, and we had like a full hour training session on Discord here with the guys just to go through the motions.
Here's a fun trivia question. See if anybody gets the bonus points. You're shooting a circle approach. What is the clearance that you receive how much clearance between the ground and the aircraft are you afforded when you conduct a circling approach?
That's a good question.
300 feet AGL. That is it. That is all you are afforded.
Well, that's not very much at all, is it?
No. When I used to do circling approaches on a 172, you felt that if you went any lower, your wheel was going to kiss those top of the trees.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So, another question that I got when I was on my instrument rating exam was, you're flying at 120 knots VREF. What category do you fall under for an approach speed? Category A, B, C, D, or E?
I don't think a lot of guys know the difference.
Right. So, the way, and this is something that if you get down into the nitty gritty of it, You know, it comes down to the point, because I mean, if you think about it, a Cessna 172, everybody's like, oh, it's a Category A aircraft. Not always. Believe it or not, if you fly above 91 knots in a Cessna 172, you are now in Category B territory. So you have to fly the approach to whatever speed you were at. So if you're flying at 93 knots approach speed for that, you have to fly to Cat B minimums, which if you're flying an approach down to minimums, you want to be as slow as possible, because you can get that slightly 10 to 20 feet lower on the approach, which could make the difference between you landing and making a missed approach.
Yeah, I totally agree.
So it always gets really interesting, and then understanding, you know, the three different criteria. Like if you're going to an airport and you see that, this was one of the questions I had. You know, you're flying into Troutdale and you notice that it says the approach is a RNAV-alpha, right? So it's the RNAV alpha. What does that mean? Well, there's three criteria to determine if you have a circling only approach, right? One, if the final approach fix and the course of the approach is more than 30 degrees, if the airport is not easily identifiable, or if the descent profile exceeds more than 400 feet per nautical mile, it is considered a circling only approach. So, you know, there's a lot of rules to instrument flying that is not really covered in the VATSIM environment.
That's
Yeah.
true. I have to agree with that one.
Yeah, no.
But let me tell you.
Sorry.
Oh, go ahead. I cut you off. Go ahead.
I mean, the ATC guys we have, they are ordinary guys. They're not really in aviation. They want to be, and that's why they come to VATSIM. So the ATC guys, they don't get trained things like that. They're basically doing the minimum training just to give an enjoyable experience on the network. And because most aircraft on the network is just like a 737 or a A320 anyway, you know, they skip a lot of training, skip a lot of knowledge.
Yeah, I have to agree with that one.
There's another one that's really good, like what's the difference between a contact approach and what's the difference between a visual approach? You know, that's a big one. I don't think anybody on the ATC network on the VATSIM, if you were asking them, hey, what's a contact approach? They'd be like, I don't know.
Yeah, that is why when I do my training as well, I always specify to the guys, remember, this is a flight simulator and this is how we do it here. Don't come and tell me I'm doing it wrong because you do it that way and that way in the real world. Right, because there are limitations. Some things you can do, some things you just can't do, you know. And
well, for one, you're not going to be able to do a proper circle land because you can't really look to your left when you're in the sim.
Exactly.
You know, that's something that even the FAA does not allow to do. Like, you can do the only reason you can't do an instrument check ride in a simulator is because you can't perform the circle to land.
Okay.
So, essentially, if you had to do a instrument check ride in a simulator, you'd have to discontinue the check ride after you get to the circle to land and then wait to perform the circle to land in an actual aircraft. So, it's always funny when people are like, you can do an instrument check ride in a simulator. Yes and no. There are limitations. You know, remember, circling to land, you have to maintain visual side of the runway at all times. If you lose the side of the runway at any time, you must make a turn towards the runway and execute the missed approach.
I see I forgot to start in my haste to get going. I forgot to start my auto, so I'm flying with default.
That looks really good. It still looks good though.
Yeah, it's okay. But I miss my autos now.
It just looks so slow as he just flew by. It almost looks like he slowed it down.
Yeah, no, I didn't. I just quickly checked here on one of my acquaintances' website. They manufacture flight simulators for real world training. I see they have a 240 degree view. And I remember when I was there in December with Uncle John and we flew some of them, you can actually see quite far behind you. So I'm curious, what kind of field of view do you guys have in your simulators?
So the one that we have at our school has a three panel setup. However,
Okay.
it is not 240 degrees. You guys have definitely more freedom than we do. I cannot execute a circling approach. I've tried many times, and the only way that I can do it is by doing a time equation, and even then, it is very inaccurate if there are winds. For me, if I'm doing a circling approach and I know the distance, if I normally fly within the standard, if I'm on the downwind leg and I have to turn base to final, and I keep the half mile, halfway up the strut on the 172, right? Then we're doing a standard half rate turn. You're gonna have to do a time-based turn because you can't see your downwind to final, downwind through base to final until you're pretty much halfway through the turn. And then if you overshoot, you could potentially end up in hot water on a check ride because you overshot centerline, and especially trying to hold altitude while you're trying to look over to the left side. Remember on the ACS standard, you're allowed plus 100 feet and minus 0, right? So if you go below the MDA, even a foot, it's game over.
Check my YouTube stream. I'll show you.
Yeah, no, like I said, it's always funny when people are like, oh, did I do this right to, instrument? I was like, you don't want me to pick that apart. You don't. But the simulator is 100%. It saved me hundreds, if not, a couple $1,000s in flight training. If the biggest thing is making sure that you practice the correct things and you're not teaching yourself a bad habit.
Absolutely. This is X-Plane 11 in the simulator, by the way.
Yeah, looks good. Anyway, later today I'm going to be flying the Challenger 650. Next, on September 2nd, maybe through the 5th, I've got a plan where me and another multi-engine instructor, I'm going to be flying left seat. I'll be in the captain's seat. He's going to be in the right. Him and I are going to be streaming on YouTube. We're going to do a flight across the pond. So me and him are going to be doing some crew resource management work. So I'll shoot you guys an invite, but I think you guys would love the content.
Yeah, put it here in Discord somewhere.
Absolutely.
I would appreciate that if you did that. Shoot us a little link so I can lock into that one.
Yes.
Yeah, perfect. And we've got the real world checklist for that aircraft, and it's everything's going to be by the book.
Excellent.
Yeah,
And
we're hoping to have
Vince.
New York Oceanic and Gander along with Santa Maria controlling agencies over Oceanic. So it's going to be fun for me to pick up an Oceanic clearance. It's going to be a lot of fun. Haven't done that in a while.
And for me, if I've been like a new kid on the block here, Oceanic is a whole different ball game for me, and I'm very interested in that. So all the information that can be thrown at me, I'll just love it.
Perfect. And then you'll get to learn about compulsory reporting points in instrument training. That's another topic that nobody talks about. Like, for example, if you had to give like a position report, like for example, Seattle approach Cessna 5363 Zulu over Olympia VOR, time now 1653 Zulu, estimate Newburgh VOR 1735 Zulu, Newburgh next, right? So for example, like understanding how to pick a reporting point is very important, especially when you're over the ocean, because yes, you're still provided, you're still under an instrument flight plan, but you're not under a radar. So you have to give reporting points when you hit compulsory reporting points, and then of course you have to remember the acronym Marvelous VFR C500 to understand when to give reporting points when you're under a radar environment and when you're not under a radar environment. And that part of instrument training was probably the most difficult, was understanding reporting points, when to do it under radar, under not radar, and then of course LOSCOM procedures.
Yeah, totally get it. Vestar at the moment do have a very similar program. So for me, being in Australia, I would fly from either out of Melbourne or Sydney and go to New Zealand, whether it's Auckland or Wellington or something like that. But you still have your reporting positions along the way after you got your final clearance out of whatever that distance might be. From ATC to the point to where you say, right, now I need to report where I am at the present moment to my next destination and what my ETA would be at that present time. So it's quite complex.
And remember, if your ETA changes to that waypoint plus or minus 2 minutes, if it exceeds 2 minutes, you have to make a new point and notify ATC. Right, so it gets pretty strict on how much time you have before you hit that next point. You're only allowed 2 minutes.
Okay, that I didn't know.
Right, so, and it's a good thing because you don't want, well, for one, being accurate with your fuel, with your ETEs, especially when you do, especially when you get into commercial. For example, in the U.S., you have to be within plus or minus 1 minute of an ETE, and then your estimated time of arrival. So after you take off and you hit cruise, your examiner is going to look at you and be like, okay, what's our estimated time of arrival to hit this airport on your cross-country flight? And you have to be within plus or minus 5 minutes.
Well, that's a big ask, actually, because you have to work out your prevailing winds as well, whether they're against you or with, whether you got a tailwind or a headwind or a side wind from either way.
Exactly. So what you do is when you hit each point, you subtract. It's like, okay, was I plus 30? Was I 30 seconds early? Was I seconds late? And then basically, once you get to your final waypoint, you add up your differences along the route. It's like, okay, we added 5 minutes over the course of 5 legs. Go ahead, and at your last leg, you're allowed to make one last change. It's like, okay, we were 5 minutes slow. Do we have enough gas to compensate for the 5 minutes extra in flight? The answer would be yes, because we carried 30 minutes extra gas, meaning that by the time we hit that last point, since we were 5 minutes late, we are now in reserves when you hit that last waypoint, right? So it gets into a whole,
agreed. Yeah.
So it's a lot of fun, man. It really is, and
absolutely, 100%.
Instrument flying forces you to become such a good pilot, man. So what you guys are doing in the sim here, don't worry. Ask yourself if it doesn't translate. It does. It absolutely does. And
yeah, I think so too, 100%.
Yeah, and it's also really good. Eventually, if you ever decide to get a type rating in that aircraft, you can pretty much chair fly the airplane and know where the buttons are. That's huge.
Yeah, that's the other bonus.
That's good on you, man. I'm happy you're doing your license. It's a really fun journey. It's not about the destination; it's about the journey.
100%. And look, I am 69 years of age, and I love aviation since I was a kid, knee high to a grasshopper. And it's not only until later in life we actually get the opportunity to partake into aviation. And I just wish that earlier in my life I was able to partake a lot more into it than what I am at the present moment. But love it 100%. And the learning curve is huge, and I just love it, right into it, 100%.
Well, gents, on that note, I'm starting my descent planning and stuff, so I've got 118 nautical miles for top of descent.
So, Nico, it might be an opportunity for you to say a few words here, mate, since we've had the floor for a little while.
Yeah, you had a very interesting conversation. I think a lot of guys were enjoying that really much. I'll say as I get to somewhere to say something. I'm literally just doing this descent thing, so.
Oh, Nico, you know my high standards. It's either butter or go around, me. I'm just kidding. Just pulling your leg.
I know.
You always have good landings anyway, so
I try.
worried.
Oh, Tell you what, every now and then I go through a bad spell and I think to myself, damn it. You know, but the last couple have been
Hey, remember,
really cool.
hey, if you landed and you walked away, it was a good landing. If you were able to use the plane again, it was a great landing.
1000 to level off.
I have an older brother that always says to me, taking off, that's easy. Flying, that's easy as well. Said, landing's the hard part. He says, landing is an organised crash. I go, what?
Yeah.
Well, if you think about it, I mean, you're stalling the airplane inches above the runway. I mean, it's not. It's a controlled crash, really.
It is really, because you just got to work out your angle of attack and make sure that you don't go over it, and otherwise you'll be kissing the ground.
Well, and the biggest thing, this is where people get in trouble too. Remember, like in a small GA aircraft, especially a Cessna, you're not flaring for landing. This drives me absolutely nuts. When people say, I'm going to flare in a 172. You're not flaring, you're transitioning. And it may seem that I'm splitting hairs here, but it's a huge difference, right? You're transitioning from level flight into slow flight, and then essentially, if you take that mentality and transition to slow flight, and you basically try not to let the plane land, you're going to end up kissing the runway really nicely. It's when people flare and they intently try to overthink it that they end up, you know, bouncing and landing. But I mean, if you put the thought of, okay, we're not flaring for landing, we're transitioning and holding it off the runway as best as we can, you'd be surprised how many people were tricked into smoothing that landing.
Actually, I like the terminology of transitioning into landing, and we understand what the protocols are involved in setting up the aircraft for landing, but I like the terminology, transition.
And it's the same thing I do in the Zibo. I don't see it as a flare. I transition, right? That is a big part of it, right? I get that nice slow descent, and it's the same thing they do in seaplanes on glass water landings. They will establish a 100 feet per minute descent rate, and they will hold it indefinitely until the floats hit the water, and it butters the landing every time. If you follow that mentality, even in the Zibo, you're going to butter the landings every time.
Yeah, I have to agree, because it makes perfectly good sense.
Morning, Captain Gio. Peter, you must just go for it, man. I read your story. I gave you a thumbs up because you can obviously see we're busy here. You know, I'll talk with you later a little bit. Maybe you must come around. We have a chat if possible. And Stuart, you're right. Even if you crawl away, as long as you can use the aircraft again, all good. So, guys,
are you
we're
landing
getting
in
close.
No,
Palma de Mallorca.
Oh, dude, nice.
Yeah.
It looks like it's Spain off the left. Is that Spain you're over right there?
Yes.
España. Looks like you're close to Barcelona.
Not that close, but yeah, it's reachable.
Cerquita, no?
No idea what you're saying.
I said pretty close there, yeah?
Okay.
Are you telling something that we don't know about?
Oh, no, he's got a chick there, I'm pretty sure. Guy that speaks Spanish like that's got a love interest. Hey, Ceremania, am I right or wrong?
Hey, listen, that's how you get the ladies, bro. He's not wrong about that. He's very smart, you know. Nico's not dumb. He's been around the block a couple
It's switched on. Absolutely,
well, you know what they say,
100%.
They say, I was born at night, just not last night.
All the other saying is I didn't come down in the last shower.
Yeah, it's not my first rodeo, right?
Yeah.
Touche.
Mm-hmm.
Right, 76 nautical miles for top of descent. Well, Stuart, I hope you enjoyed your flight there.
Well, this stream that was PG just probably turned radar. I'm just kidding.
Mm-hmm. Good stuff. Good stuff. Yeah, this is my first time flying 3.8. So.
Oh, nice. Good. That gives me a cue to update. Nice. Oh, by the way, one thing that I just noticed about the Zibo, I was flying at night, and I noticed that when you turn on the wing inspection lights, the wingtips don't illuminate anymore.
Could it be a livery thing if you tried it in a default livery? Because I know some of my
I
liveries
tried different
don't.
liveries and it was still the same issue.
Yeah. Just check your default livery, because I know some of my liveries actually you can use. It's some you can't.
All right, well, that's good to know. I will keep a look at that. But other than that, man, that thing has been. I've been really flying the Challenger 650. I love zipping that thing around. That has been a lot of fun. That and the Zibo. And every now and then I crack out the Airbus every now and then.
Gotcha, Stewart.
Hey, Nico, can you pass the scotch into aisle 3, please?
Ask Trish. She's somewhere in the back there. My hands are going to be
Yeah.
busy now.
That's
I'll
right.
have some of that as well, thank you.
Oh, you can just get up and go. I mean, you've got free rein there. There's quite well stocked galley.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay, I'll certainly give it a hiding.
Please tell me there's some Tanqueray at least in the cabinet, so perhaps a little bit of gin, yeah?
I don't know. I have no idea what's stocked and not stocked there. I prefer my Coca-Cola, because that problem of 24 hours between bottle and throttle, you know, if I want to fly later on, they're going to stop me, so.
Yeah. Well, I gotta say, speaking of differences between U.S. and America, I will say the Coca-Cola in Europe, I think, tastes slightly better because it has a little bit of that lemon flavor in it, and I absolutely love it. This was especially noticed when I went into Spain, and I would always order Coca-Cola, and it would always come with a slice of lime, and I love that. That is something that you don't see in the States.
Well, I hate to disappoint you, but back here in good old Australia, it doesn't come like that. If you want a Coke, it comes in the glass and straight out the bottle or the can. That's it. No added anything.
We like our little slice of lime on the side, man. Stewart,
Yeah, it may not seem that much, but it's a difference.
It's nice. Yeah, Stewart, the takeoff calculator does not work. Only the landing calculator, and when eventually Zibo gets around to it, he'll fix it all up. There's a lot of work that needs to go into that, so I'm not holding my breath for it at this point in time.
Palma to Mallorca traffic, Skymatix 04, established ILS 24 left. We are 13 miles out.
Yeah, the guys are getting close. I've upped my cost index to 50 to try and catch them, but the gap is huge between us.
So, Nico, next time you do one of these flights, I have to join you, because the aircraft that you fly, I've got one totally identical to yours, except my call sign's a bit different.
Yeah.
But
man,
I want to have a crack at it.
Yeah, no, you
it's
must.
too bad your flight's not working, man.
Sorry, say again? Remind us again?
It's too bad shared flight's not working right now. The servers have been down for the last month. I'd be flying with one of you guys.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sad about it because right now the only aircraft we can fly as a dual, as a crew resource management flight, as I like to call them, is the Challenger 650 because it has the utility built into the actual aircraft. I mean, that airplane is so detailed, you can do a type rating in that aircraft. I mean, this aircraft, you could probably conduct a type rating in and you get away with it. But the Challenger and this aircraft are neck and neck, which is pretty nice.
Cool.
And that's saying something, because remember, Zibo's batting up with the DLCs that are $115. I mean, that's a statement. You should do a single engine approach. It'd be fun.
I'm awake, but not that awake.
That'll make it interesting. Just drop one of the engines. Don't worry about it. Either left or right. Doesn't matter.
Oh, if I get to pick, it's going to be a left engine out. We're going to take the critical engine out.
So, Nico, you up for it?
Nope. Not today.
Yeah, it becomes a whole different ballgame when you fly a multi-engine, because then you have to understand VYSE, right? So, best rate, single engine, you know, best angle, VX, single engine. Then you have to understand, you know, minimum controllable airspeed, and it gets into a whole different can of worms.
Yep.
It's a different ball game altogether.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, you're flying the airplane in a whole different manner. You know, your maximum landing flap configuration is going to be flaps 15, and then your go around thing is going to be flaps 1 instead of flaps 15, like dual.
And I have to say, this will certainly test you as a pilot, whether you're in control and you know exactly what's going on.
Exactly, and I mean that's why you have those notches on the flap selection on the 737, the ones at 15 and flaps 1 is for dual engine go around and single engine go around.
Yeah. And right now what I'm looking at, it just looks beautiful, just buzzing through the sky there. Excellent. Very nice.
Yes, it's a very majestic flight.
No, Neil. Same, Stuart. Sorry to hear that. No, I'm happy. Thank you. I'm not ready for something like that at this point in time. You can even hear me yawn. I've got other test flights I need to do with other developers and stuff later today, so my time's limited. I need to get on the ground, give you guys a nice show, and then go get something to eat and rest 5 minutes and go again, you know. So my day's full. Morning, Alex.
How many circuits are you doing today? How many legs?
It'll probably be the next leg that I'll be doing. One good test flight, but I need to test the new Linda. I need to make sure the new Linda works. And I've got Eugenie on Skype here in the background waiting for me, so I need to get that going and see what we can do with other stuff.
Later today, when I fly the Challenger 650, I'll put a message in the Discord, and I'll stream it on you guys' channel.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
No, Neil, no.
So,
I'm awake enough, man. Yeah, go for it, Artie.
So, Nico, there's a new model for Linda, this is what you're saying?
Yeah, but it's not released yet. It's a beta. We're testing it in the background. I submitted a whole report to the guys at Jar Design for certain elements that needs fixing. And they replied back to me and they said to me, it's fixed, here's your file, go try it. And I couldn't even get her to do a single thing. She's just stuck, she's dead. So I said, okay, I'll do another test flight after this, but then I'll record it so I can share the video with them, you know, to show them what happened.
Yeah, okay, fair enough. Hopefully something positive will come out of this then. It'll be excellent.
Yeah,
and I use her all the time in my flight sim.
Yeah. There's 12 issues I brought under their retention. You know, the basic one I can quickly show you here. In our version that we've got, okay, it's not showing it under the commands. But anyway, one of the commands here is set the THS for takeoff. That's the Airbus way of saying set the trim, okay? And it's been bugging me ever since Linda was released years ago. And I've asked it 2 or 3 times. They've eventually fixed it. Now it says set trim for takeoff, for instance. You know, so there's 12 little things like that. There's some of the SOP that's changed. One of the things that has also bugged me is disregarding the fact that you have the ground power on, she will always start the APU. And one of the things
she does.
Yeah, one of the things I requested, which they said was fixed, which I can't test because I can't get it to work, is that if the ground power is on, she will not start the APU. She will continue on ground power, for instance, you know, until you tell her to stop the APU. So there's, like I said, there's like 12 issues that supposedly was addressed. 10 of them was marked as solved, and 2 of them was either unable or difficult, not now, you know. So we'll see.
Yeah, this is obviously a time management thing, and see how it all pans out at the end.
Yeah, and their attention currently is more with the PMDG version, you know, taking her into 2020. But again, for reasons I can't really talk about on stream now, we are testing a new one here, so we'll see what happens in X-Plane now as well, because if we can bring them on par and fix this stuff up, we'll be really happy. Mark, in terms of your question, you get this beautiful woman on the X-Plane.org store. You just type in Linda Zibo when you are there, and she's going to cost you 10 or 12 bucks. And yeah, it's the co-pilot. So Linda, co-pilot, Zibo, those are your search terms in the org store. You just buy her and get her going. Please read the manual. Please, please, please. It's imperative that you follow the manual step by step, because you need to set up buttons. You need to train her with voice if you want to use voice. There's a whole bunch of things that you need to do with it. It's not even though it's a small and cheap add-on, it's not for the faint-hearted. If you're not up to the task of reading manuals and following instruction, you're going to really hate her, because she needs to be set up proper.
Yeah, it only takes a little bit of time and reading through what's required on your behalf in order to initiate how you want to perform in the cockpit. Then I don't think it's rocket science at all.
No. But we all know that some flight simmers really hate reading. You know, they don't like following instructions. So that's why I just put the little warning in there. You know, you've got to want to.
Yeah, fair enough. I understand. And I love flying through clouds. It's just brilliant. You know, where the bloody hell am I?
Nice. I'm not saying anything. Good one, Mark.
We missed a joke, did we?
Mark says, okay, cheers, Nico. A bit like my missus. I've invested 16 years in trying to fathom her out so far, with a roll on the floor emoji. I know. Yeah. I'm married 26 years this year. Yeah.
Yeah.
I tell you, you love them to bits. You can't live without them. But there are days you just want to put a bullet in her and just forget about knowing her. You know, it's just come here, let me hug. Yeah, come here, let me hug you. I just want to see how big the grave needs to be. You know, bring out the shovel and go into the backyard.
Yeah. How big a hole do I dig?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Same.
Funny, it's the same all over the world.
Yeah. Can't live without them, but you can't really kill them either.
Yeah, touche.
Insane.
Mallorca traffic, Skymatix VA Flight, vacated runway 24 left.
Yes, Peter.
So, Nico, on your flight bag instrument there, and I'm looking at it as you're panning around, and I see where your aircraft's located on the flight track that it is. Yeah, right where you pointed your arrow just then. How did you get that up there? Is that through Navigraph, I take it?
Nope. No, that's... I made a little 4.5 minute video. It's on my channel. It's basically using little nav map. And you basically import your flight plan into little nav map and then save it as an AviTab file. Okay, so that's how I do it. But you're going to have to watch that 4.5 minute video on my channel to just pick up on it. It's easy.
All right. Yep, pick up on that one. Yep. It's quite good, actually. I like it.
Yeah, me too. I suppose, Alex. You guys
so,
better...
Nico, I have a So, Nico, I have a question. Whereabouts do you reside in the world?
Johannesburg, South Africa.
Okay. You're only just up the road from where I am then, so to speak.
100.
Yeah.
Landing lights switches on.
You guys better not let your wives or girlfriends see this video, eh? You better hide it. Don't watch it, in bed tonight and let them read the comments.
My wife, she's watching television, and I'm in my what I call my studio now, and I do my flight sim in here, and as well my other hobby is playing the guitar, so I call it my studio.
Cool. But I'm going to slow down a little bit. There's another aircraft coming in from the south, Ryanair, and we seem to be hitting the target same time, so I'm just going to slow down for him. So you can go ahead. He's roughly somewhere there where the mouse is now.
Approaching transition.
Yeah, he's now nicely ahead of me.
Transition level. Ready for approach checklist.
Palma, traffic Ryanair 103, establish localizer 2 left.
That's him. Yeah, Steve, imagine she turns around and she says, well, go on then. I can't wait for you to go play with Linda. I'm waiting for the neighbor. Dit for that. That'll be a mess. Okay, sorry. I was just taking it one step further. Just be careful. I think that's the message here. Is just be careful how you say it. You might not get the response you were hoping for. Mallorca traffic Skymatix 001 ETA is now 6 minutes. We on the localizer for landing runway 24 left.
So, Nico, I still take it you're flying through the cloud?
Oh, no, it's broken around me.
Yeah, that looks better. Yeah, it looks nice.
I love my clouds.
So you're all set up for an ISL landing?
ILS, yes. Yeah, 11 nautical miles out now.
You're almost on the ground.
Yep.
Until the seatbelt sign has been switched off.
Check the rainbow there. That looks so
Yeah,
cool.
very nice.
Thank you, Geert.
And I love the way you jump around the aircraft and show just different angles and whatever. It looks awesome.
Yeah. Thanks, Tommy. Yeah, that sounds like a plan. I hope the umbrella is up as well. I don't want to burn to a crisp. I just want to enjoy the sun and the surf a bit. Alright, there's 7 miles. Start slowing it down a bit.
Cabin crew, take your seats, prepare for landing. Flaps 15 set.
Bit of fun through that cloud. Did you notice it was wobbling a bit?
Yeah, I did actually. Is that part of the weather phenomenon, or
yeah.
is that just a program?
No, that's the weather. Right, speed brake is on. Lap should now be at 25, 30, 30.
Flaps 30 set. Ready for landing checklist. Taxi lights on.
Better get ready.
Looking good, Nico.
Oh, it's very stable now.
Clear to land runway 24 left.
500. 400. 300. Approaching decision height. 200. Minimums. 100. 50, 40, 30, 20, 10.
Yeah, that was cool.
Beautiful.
Auto brake in use.
Very nice, Nico. You didn't put any potholes in the runway.
Yes.
Yeah, for sure. For sure.
Great landing. You are professional.
Oh, I don't know about that comment. Takes a lot of practice.
Yeah. Mallorca traffic, Skymatix 001, runway vacated, taxi back to the stand.
And I
Thank
do
you,
like the stable approach detail report.
Yeah, it's very nice. I like it. That's why I put it on here. I'm not always in favor of agreeing with the rate at which it says you land, but this I'll accept this one. See, the difference is I spoke to the developer, right? He takes a whole bunch of things into consideration that your normal landing rate monitors just don't. Okay, so in doing his calculation, it sometimes looks like you're landing very hard, which you're not, but it's because he takes all kinds of weird things into consideration, you know. So anyway, it's nice to have.
Yeah, it's nice to have and nice to see where you're going well and you're not rolling out so well and those sort of things.
Yeah.
This app, where do you get that? Is it freebie or is it something you
no, it's free from the org.
Just look at traffic.
Just search it. It's free on the org.
Established.
Okay, I'll try to have a look.
Yeah, it's called Stable Approach. You can just type in explain
left,
space stable approach. Search it.
Málaga. Sorry, Mallorca.
Sorry, Nick, I'll just write that down. So it's explain called what?
Yeah, explain space stable approach. Just search it that way. After landing procedure.
Okay, got it.
After landing procedure. Kom Linda.
After landing procedure.
Ja, så det... Så det... Fighting guys here. I saw him fighting a guy.
After landing, procedure complete.
David is somewhere right in front of us. He's not that far off. By the time we've parked, he's probably going to be on the ground as well.
So Nico, while you're
Wraps up
taxiing
and
back
set.
to your gate, I take it that other guys join you on the same flight that you are doing at the present moment, yeah?
Yeah, there they are. They're all there. And David is about to land now. So we fly together on IVAO. We don't use VATSIM. And then the Saturday mornings one, like now, and then tomorrow morning, Sunday morning as well. Those are our two main group flights for the week. But the guys on Discord here literally fly every day together. They do 2-3 flights a day together here. So if you want to join them at any point in time, you're welcome.
Yeah. So do I need to join up with IVAO?
Yeah, you'll have to.
Okay. And it's simple enough as to joining up with that team.
Yeah. You just can't have the
I'll look into
programs
it.
running at the same time, so you'll have to remove your VATSIM while you're flying IVAO. So you can just copy and paste, move them out, cut and paste them out of your explain system as you need them. Or use Xorganizer to just enable, disable them.
Alright, if I'm going to run into trouble, I'll be tapping you on the shoulder.
Oh, there's plenty of guys here that will help you. Just come. Shutdown procedure.
Shutdown procedure.
So my next question for you would be tomorrow morning. We're here at Saturday night about 7:15. So what time on a Sunday would you be flying?
Same time.
And
800 Zulu. So you can come anytime before that anyway. But we start the stream at 800 Zulu.
800 Zulu. Yeah, all right, got you. I look forward to being there.
Cool.
Right, Nico, I'm signing off. May you enjoy the rest of your day.
Yeah, you too. Thank you so much for being here. Nice to have you guys here always.
Ready for shutdown checklist.
Right, see you, gents.
Cheerio. Bye-bye. There's David
Bye-bye.
landing. There's David coming in to land now.
Oh yeah, I see it. That looks so cool.
Yeah. Tell you what, for anybody on stream that has never tried multiplayer flying together like this, I promise you, when the bug bites you, you just have to try it once, man. It is such a game changer to fly with other people, real people, not AI and things like that. It's amazing. It's really nice.
Yeah, I definitely have to give that a go.
When I saw, I guess,
So Nico, all the other aircraft I'm looking at, who are parked at the gate and whatever, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, maybe 5 that I can see, plus old mate sitting on the runway there coming in. These are all guys that fly with you?
Yeah, real pilots. Yeah, real life people.
Cool.
The only thing is, if you're going to fly online, RTMS, just be prepared to speak to the ATC as well, eh? You have to communicate, otherwise they're going to wallop you and kick you off the network. So just take that into consideration. We didn't have ATC today, but if we do get them, you are obliged to talk to them.
Yeah, that's cool. I don't have an issue with that at all. And
Okay, cool.
that's one of the questions I was going to ask you earlier on, whether you were flying with ATC or not.
Today they were not here. You're welcome, Tommy, and you must have a good rest of your day, Tommy. We'll chat with you later if you're going.
Yeah, sure. Let's go ahead. Let's go.
So, Nico, I will try to get there at 800 Zulu tomorrow.
Yeah.
And look, I've really enjoyed the conversation I had this evening. I think it's early morning for you guys.
Yep.
And hopefully catch you next time round.
No worries. Enjoy.
Thanks, mate. Take care. Next
You
time.
too.
See ya.
Bye. Oh. Mark, if you're on Explain 11, there are tools. In Explain 12, I don't know if the same tools will work. In your Explain settings, you must just select that it doesn't draw the parked aircraft. That's one way of doing it. Otherwise, you're going to have to edit them out in WED, or if you have add-on scenery, disable them in the add-on scenery. But there's a couple of things you need to do. Best is to come to Discord and sit here with the guys and ask around, eh? See what they can help you with. Yeah. I can't remember the tools' names, but I know there are tools to do that. There was like an airport editor, but I can't remember the name, eh? Anyway, let's quickly go upstairs. I'm gonna drag you, Artie. Gentlemen.
Thank you, Nico. Nice flight.
Yeah, thanks for flying with. Thank you, Uncle John. I've taken my picture too.
Yeah, mate. Yeah, excellent. Nico.
Yeah.
This is running so good. I can't believe it.
Okay, I'm glad. I'm still streaming, by the way, just for your information.
Oh, sorry.
No worries. No. I just wanted to come and say that, or see that you guys are okay. Then I can stop my stream.
Have you passed on to the guys for trying to get AO to work? The info.
You have. I don't see why I need to. I've commented on some of your posts. So, in terms of the guys watching the stream, if you guys want to get your latest version of Auto going, there's a permission issue with some people's computers, and for some reason whoever loaded the Windows on some computers didn't do a good job. So there's permission issues, and what Kevin figured out, and I mean I spent days on it as well, but Kevin got the final answer, is to just share in Windows, share your AO folder, your auto folder, to let everyone have full control, and then it works. It's like a workaround. It's not ideal, but at least it works. So that's the fix. So anyway, let me switch off my stream, guys and girls. Thank you for watching. We'll check you guys later on or tomorrow morning, whichever comes first in terms of streaming, and hope to see you then as well. Have a good one. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Thank you, Nico.